Ever ordered something online and it like magically shows up right when it's supposed to? Or maybe you've gotten to use a new highway that cut like a ton of time off how long it takes you to get to work.
Yeah, for sure. It's easy to forget about all the work that goes into making those everyday things happen, huh? But there are actually people behind the scenes making sure everything runs smoothly, and they're called road operations managers.
And if you're listening to this deep dive, you're probably thinking about how you can get a job doing that, right? Well, lucky for you, we've got RoleCatcher's career guide right here, and we're going to break it all down for you. No confusing jargon, just the important stuff to get you up to speed on this fast-paced field.
Yeah, it's a job that a lot of people don't even know exists, but it's seriously important to keeping the entire world running, you know what I mean? Like getting that stuff you ordered online to your door, making sure things get shipped between different continents. It's all thanks to road operations managers.
Okay, so it sounds like it's way more than just trucks and traffic jams. This RoleCatcher guide I'm looking at says something about strategic planning. What does that actually mean in this job?
So imagine like a huge snowstorm comes out of nowhere and completely shuts down one of the biggest highways.
Hmm.
So like a road operations manager is the one who has to immediately figure out how to reroute an entire fleet of trucks. They've got to do it without causing delays, got to make sure the drivers are safe and like make sure that all those deliveries still happen when they're supposed to.
Whoa, that's a lot of pressure. I can totally see why this guide says it's a high-stress environment. So tell me a little more about what it's really like to work this job. Like, what's the work-life balance like?
Honestly,
Hmm.
it's definitely not the type of job where you clock out at 5 and forget about it until the next morning, that's for sure. You're pretty much always on call dealing with crazy stuff that pops up, weather disasters, accidents, even small things like if someone puts a pallet in the wrong spot,
Yeah.
you can totally mess everything up.
It sounds kind of chaotic, like you're always putting out fires. Is it really just like adrenaline and chaos all the time?
Well, there's a lot of that, yeah, but honestly, it's also super rewarding. You know that you're the one keeping everything moving, that people are getting the things they need when they need them. That feeling, that purpose, it really keeps you going. And of course, there's the whole problem-solving part of it, too.
Totally. This guide keeps mentioning problem solving as a key skill, kind of an understatement, don't you think?
Pretty much. But it's not even just about fixing problems when they happen. It's also about making sure those problems never even happen in the first place.
Yeah.
For example, a good road operations manager is going to be looking at all those performance reports and stuff, things like on-time delivery rates, just to see where they're losing or gaining time in the delivery process, and then make it better.
So it's almost like they're conducting an orchestra, but instead of musical instruments, it's trucks and cargo containers, huh? Speaking of moving parts, what about your career? Like, are there a lot of opportunities to move up in this field, or do you kind of hit a ceiling after a while?
Not at all. Actually, this guide lays out a very clear path you can take. You might start out as a road operations associate, then work your way up to coordinator, supervisor, and then eventually into a management position. And of course, each step up comes with more responsibility and, more money.
That's good to hear. But let's back up for a sec. For someone who's just starting out as a road operations associate, what does an average day actually look like for them? Is it all spreadsheets and fetching coffee?
Nah, it's not really like that. It's more about learning everything from the ground up, Like you'll be helping out with the schedules and routes, making sure all those deliveries go out on time. And you might have to keep an eye on those performance metrics we were just talking about, looking at the data and figuring out where they might be losing or gaining time in the delivery process.
So it's all about those little details, huh? Because they can really add up in the end. And I'm guessing like technology probably plays a big role in all of this. Which reminds me, this guide mentioned something about RoleCatcher having like AI tools to help with job hunting. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, so it's actually pretty amazing. Imagine this, you've got this AI that can look at all those job descriptions for road operations jobs, and then it like helps you rewrite your resume so that it really highlights all the right skills and experience, the stuff that those employers are really looking for. That's what RoleCatcher does.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. It's like having a secret advantage when you're applying for jobs, especially since it's so competitive out there these days. But what about once you get your foot in the door, does RoleCatcher help with interviews too?
Oh yeah, for sure. They have this whole section on interview prep that's seriously a game changer. Yeah, I mean, they have like thousands of practice questions,
Yeah.
and they're all specifically made for road operations roles. But here's the really wild part. They use AI to like analyze your responses and give you feedback.
Whoa, hold on. AI interview prep. That's next level stuff. I bet that would make anyone feel way more confident, especially if you're the type of person who gets nervous in interviews.
Exactly. They even have these tools that analyze videos so you can practice how you're coming across, like your body language and how you're saying things. It's basically like having your own personal coach right there on your phone.
Wow, okay. So RoleCatcher definitely sounds like a super valuable resource for anyone who's serious about going down this career path. But let's switch gears for a second and talk about the human side of things. Because
Got
you
it?
can have all the fancy technology and be super efficient, but at the end of the day, this is still a job where you got to be good with people.
Yeah, you're totally right. A road operations manager, yeah, they're coordinating all those logistics and looking at data, but they're also in charge of an entire team of drivers.
And that probably means you need some seriously good people skills.
You better believe it. It's all about building that trust and a good relationship with your drivers.
Hmm.
You got to understand what they're worried about and just like create a good atmosphere where people actually want to work, you know. And then on top of that, you got to know how to deal with customers, make sure they're happy with the service, and fix any problems that come up.
So it's like walking a tightrope. You've got to keep all sides happy, your team, the customers, and the people you report to. We've covered a lot of ground here, the skills you need, how to move up in your career, and even the tech that can help you along the way. But I'm curious from your experience, what's the one thing that really separates the successful road operations managers from the rest?
That's a tough one. It's not really just one single thing,
Yeah.
you know. It's more like a few different things all coming together. Like you got to be able to stay calm and collected when things go sideways because let me tell you, they will go sideways at some point.
Yeah, because like we said before, there are a lot of moving parts.
Exactly. You got to be able to think on your feet and make good decisions under pressure, the kind of decisions that keep everything running without a hitch.
So you can't just be reactive, right? Like you also need to be able to see the bigger picture and get ahead of those problems before they even happen.
Exactly. And that's where it really helps to like really understand the industry inside and out. The best road operations managers I know are always thinking about what's next, looking at the trends and coming up with new ways of doing things. So they're always one step ahead,
Yeah.
you know. Plus they actually like enjoy the work,
Yeah.
you know. They're passionate about it.
Yeah, it's not just about moving things from A to B. They're basically keeping the whole world running smoothly behind the scenes. That's a lot of responsibility.
It definitely is. And it's only going to get more important as time goes on because let's face it, people rely on things getting delivered quickly and efficiently now more than ever. Think about how much online shopping is blown up, right? And everybody wants their stuff delivered like yesterday.
Hmm.
Road operations managers are the ones who are going to have to figure out how to make that happen.
So, for anyone listening who's thinking, this sounds like something I could actually be good at, what would you tell them?
Honestly, if you're the type of person who likes a challenge, who wants to make a difference, and who doesn't want to be stuck doing the same thing day in and day out,
Hmm.
you should definitely look into road operations management. It's an exciting field, and there's so much room to grow and really make your mark.
And hey, don't forget, there are some seriously cool tools out there that can help you along the way, things like RoleCatcher. Whether you need help making your resume stand out or just want to practice your interview skills, they've got you covered. So next time you see a big truck on the highway or you get that package delivered right to your doorstep, take a second to think about all the road operations managers out there who are making it happen. They're the ones who keep things running smoothly behind the scenes, the unsung heroes who make sure everything gets where it needs to go.